Today we're doing things a little bit differently. The Agency 365 is under construction, so we're doing it Zoom style, probably maybe at least for the next couple weeks, just until everything's up and running there. Corey and I, this is our first co-host event. So welcome, Corey. And I always like, of course, starting the morning with positivity. A friend of mine taught me that, Lisa. So would anyone like to share something cool, exciting, or fun that happened? Business or personal, approved?
I'll share.
Great. Please do.
I'm really excited. Personally, my aunt, who I'm very close with, is visiting Michigan. I just went down to Florida to see her. She actually flew in and surprised us yesterday. That's for the weekend. And we'll be visiting with her mom, who is 90, my grandma, who doesn't know she's in town. So she moved to Florida last year and we all miss her a lot. So just excited to have her back in town.
I love that. It's a great one. Lisa, looks like you're waving your hand in the air.
No, I'm clapping for Corey. It's always fun. I would like to say though that Shannon and I have a huge win. We have been working really hard to launch our newest venture, which is the Rising Stars. We have a 6-week course that we are launching. It actually starts next week on Wednesday at 5:30. And we're really excited to have, it's for newer agents, it's for agents that want to sharpen their skills. And we're just really excited to have the ability to go ahead and share all of the knowledge that we've been gathering. And it was fun to launch that last night. So we're excited to get that going.
I am so happy that you guys are doing that. Literally anyone who is at all questionable about what they're doing in real estate, like if you have questions, or you want to sharpen your skills, or you want to, learn more about gathering clients and improving your business, like I cannot recommend this enough. I'm seeing like the fruits of that, the people that have been involved in that previously, like all of the previous rising stars, and how they're succeeding and how they're applying the things to their business. And then she partnered up with Shannon to make it even better. And do not miss that. So, and it's very low cost, but a big commitment. So keep that in mind, but highly recommended for anyone. Like if you've only been in the business, if you're brand new, or just a few years, I still feel like you're going to get something out of it. So definitely check that out. Anyone else have anything? Just looking. Okay. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. I have one like really exciting one that I just found out. My daughter Ava just graduated this year and she received the GMAR scholarship. So she applied for it and ended up getting it. So I was really excited about that. So, okay. So today we're going to be talking about open houses. And this is something, we do them. You jump in, you say, oh yeah, let me do an open house. Yeah. People put the opportunity out on a very regular basis. And even if it's not your own open house, how can you leverage those open houses to really create new business for yourself? And, I couldn't help but to invite Corey Welch because to speak about this specifically, because that's where he started. And you want to talk about that? And then I have some things I can add in here and there, but I feel like it's a great thing. So.
Yeah, what I like about today's topic is Amy and I, since we decided to join our forces and join our trainings together, we were having a very professional and formal meeting this week. And we were like, okay, let's go over what we should discuss with the group. And our topics are always meant to provide value to where you can actually get off this call and make a difference and get more business in whatever way, even if you don't take that topic, just different things you've heard from uplifting, positivity, so forth. So we were talking about how we got started in the business. And I get asked this question all the time because my business looks very different in 2023 than it did in 2018. when I started. And so when I started in real estate, I had no clients. Did not come from, a family of real estate agents or, investors or any people who could really give me some advice as to, hey, this is what I did to get my business going. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start posting on social media and I'm going to do open houses. And I had no idea where that would take me or how to do them. Like Amy said, you just start saying, oh, I'll do an open house. And so, or I'll show up, I'll put it in the MLS. So essentially what I started doing is just taking different open house opportunities. If I had a listing, which at that time was very few, because again, I was a new agent, but also asking within our offices, which we have plenty, to just say, can I do an open house for you? But then I started taking it a little bit further. I started, of course, making sure signs were up. I was posting about the open house, posting when I was there, like a video of different features to kind of showcase like, hey, I do know what I'm doing. I'm busy. I'm out marketing homes for sellers. Let me do this for you. I started walking neighborhoods that I was doing open houses in and putting out not just a flyer about the open house, but also like information about me. Like, hey, if you're interested in selling your home, let's talk. I can tell you about this home. Even if it's not your listing, you can still talk about it. Your office has it, or your company has it. So then I took a different strategy when people would come to the open house. And if they didn't have an agent, which a lot don't, I actually had a full-on buyer packet put together for them. So like my buyer consultation packet, some information about me, about different, price points that they're looking in, and they would actually leave with that. And some people might be wondering, like, does this work? Well, the interesting thing is sometimes when I would then get a call from them or I would reach out to them, they would show up to the showing with that packet. So they held on to it, they looked through it, they kept that information. So that's a really brief overview of different things with open houses. And I can definitely add on what I do now at open houses, but just showing up, providing value instead of just like, oh, welcome, and let them walk around, actually providing value to everybody coming through the door. Then they're like, okay, wow, this person knows what they're doing. They're very professional and they want to work with you. And the best thing is a lot of these people, when I first started, they actually had homes to sell. And we were in a market where you could just go out and buy a home and write offers contingent on selling your home, no problem. Give us 30 days to get an offer. And it was nothing new. It was completely fine. Not the case right now, but essentially that's what it was then. What we do now at open houses is we have an iPad. So we've definitely, I guess, changed what we do. And when people come in, we have them sign right into our database of, hey, welcome to our open house. Can we get your information? And then you have all their information forever, and you can follow up with them as many times as you want. So again, brief overview, but what I would do is, again, post when you're there, let people know you're out working. Even if you're a newer agent, if you're an experienced agent, people want to work with people who are busy. People want to work with people who have experience doing something in real estate. You don't have to have sold a million homes, but are you out working? Are you putting in the effort? Are you learning every single week, every single weekend? What are you out doing? And the more you're out doing something, especially if it's an open house, you're getting experience, you're talking with buyers and sellers, you're talking with agents. And it was a good learning experience for me. And my first 10 clients came from an open house in my career. So, there's been many more since then. And what is funny, I tell people the stat is like the actual house itself sells like 2% of the time during open house. And I've definitely sold a house at an open house several times. So it does work. You want to chime in, Amy, on what you do? Because I'll talk forever if you let me. Oh, and
Oh, there we go. Okay. No, I love that, Corey. And I think that's huge, right? Being able to provide value to people as they come through. And the other thing is, if I get calls a lot, I don't do a ton of open houses anymore. I kind of organically get buyers at this point. And but I think it's great for obtaining listings by door knocking other doors, because we know, if one person is thinking about, or if one person is selling, their neighbor sees it, they're like, oh, wait, I've been thinking about selling too. It's time for us to upsize, downsize, move, or whatever. So it's a good opportunity there. And you providing value at that is going to set you apart from other people, of course, because, other agents might just be sitting there not paying attention to, or just doing kind of the bare minimum. So if you're the agent that does, over the top, if they go to open houses every weekend and you're the agent that sticks out, maybe it will end up being something else in the long term. The other thing is I was doing a lot of listings last year, and I was getting a lot of calls from other agents that weren't even with EXP or weren't even with like someone I knew necessarily. They were, or, not with the company or any company that I knew of. I do an open house on your listing this weekend. Like, if there's not some available within, do it for someone else. One of the things that I do at every listing appointment, I say, and the great part is there's going to be an open house, and I can guarantee it because there's so many people like within Rise United and within the company, like there's always someone available to do an open house. So it's a nice addition, even though we know as realtors exactly what Corey said, only 2% of open houses actually sell because of the open house. So it's not like a high value in that regard, but to the seller, there's a value to it. And they know the concept of open houses because everyone's heard of them. So being able to add that as an additional service, I'm going to like, as you're giving your value proposition at a listing appointment and you're saying, I'm going to take, great care of you. My customer service is very high. I'm going to do these 3 marketing things, great photos, and additionally, you're going to have an open house so we can really showcase your home to all interested buyers. And then you can go into the value of an open house. We know, especially in the summer, agents travel and go out of town. So that might be, if it's only available for the weekend and they're gone for a long weekend up north, that might be the only opportunity their client gets to see that home. So there is a value in that for sure. So I can flip it back to you, Corey. Or if I saw someone make a comment. I'm on my phone, so it's a little bit
No,
challenging
that's okay.
today. But
That's why
okay.
we're co-hosting. I'll help you out. Don't worry.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Shannon Big Donut said, I have grabbed clients multiple times from other people seeing my open house marketing on social media. So you don't just grab doors that walk through the door, or buyers and sellers. So I think that's a really good point. When you're posting about open houses, again, you're showing that you're busy, you're showing that you're an active agent, and you do not want to be a secret agent. So by posting, by being out there, people are going to see that you're active and that you know what you're doing and that you have more experience. And Herman said, converting open house shoppers more than doable. One of my first deals ever was from one of Amy's listings. So another really good example from Herman. Just open house shoppers usually are shopping because they do plan on buying a house, whether that's 2 weeks today or 2 years. I actually got a call yesterday from someone that said, yeah, we met a couple years ago. I'm ready to sell my house. We met in person a couple years ago. So people do remember you. If you are professional and you know what you're doing and you're providing value, people remember that even a year or 2 years from now. If you think about any profession, maybe you had a really good doctor in your life or attorney or teacher, you remember those people. And I think that's really important for realtors to remember, whether it be an open house or a listing appointment or a buyer consultation. Even if you don't get that client in the moment, if you still were professional, they do remember that for the future. And an example, I didn't get a listing one time, but I was professional the whole time. I thank them for allowing me to interview. And then they ended up hiring me to be their buyer's agent because they said that they wanted to try a different agent on the buy side. So just keep that in mind. And I know Lisa has done some open houses, so let's hear what her strategies are, because I know she does a lot of knocking around the neighborhood.
Hey, Corey. Thank you. I love this topic, of course. I really love the idea of maximizing every single listing or every opportunity that you have, right? So what we're talking about here is taking a listing, like Herman said, taking Amy's listing that's not even his own listing and turning it into business, whatever he has to do, right? So whether that's door knocking the neighborhood or actually having that open house and picking up buyers from that, there's so many opportunities out there, and we're truly as a collaborative group offering like our listings, like, hey, I can't run all of these open houses, so yeah, I'm offering them, you know, who would like to run an open house. So it's really nice. And again, you can reach out to agents on their listings no matter what company they're with, and offer to do an open house, as well as do open houses for sale by owners. You know, it's about getting out there and making it happen. I think I told you guys before, I started door knocking one day. I just hadn't made all my contacts I was supposed to make for the day. And I just said, I was with Bobby and I said, hey, pull over here. I'm going to door knock this neighborhood. And no, I don't, no, I don't have a listing on it, but there's a listing right there from another company. Right. So you're just always trying to think outside of the box on, how I can get those, just keep touching people basically. But I was really curious what your buyer's packet looks like, Corey. I'm just super curious, like what kind of things as a new agent, what would you put in there to stand out?
Yeah, absolutely. And, the first couple open houses, I had the MLS sheets and, information on the house, but I wanted to take it to the next level because I really wanted to convert these buyers into clients. And, I was a lot younger at the time. I was a new agent and I literally, had not sold a house and wanted to provide as much value as possible. So I created a buyer consultation packet, which depending on what brokerage you are at, there's many different options. At EXP, you can go into the marketing center. I am sure other brokerages have different options as well in their platforms. So essentially, I went in there, took the buyer consultation completely, kind of changed it to what I would say my style, and went through and created that. So, that was like a 16-page packet with different things on buying houses, going over EMDs, inspections, appraisals, financing, how I can help you find a home, different things that I do in my business to help you find that home that you're looking for that matches the criteria that you want. So that was one thing. And then I had a nice looking folder, had my brokerage on it, had my information on it, and their little card slot inside, put your card in there, put the buyer packet in there. Then I would put the MLS sheet, I would put the disclosures in there. And then I did create some more like marketing materials as far as about the company, just showing like, my company has sold this many houses, or we have this many agents, and to kind of showcase, if I haven't sold any houses, I got to talk about the brokerage and the teams and the offices because I hadn't sold any houses. So I can't say, hey, hire Corey Welch. I've sold, 100 houses this year. At that time, I had sold 0 houses. So I had to talk about, what Amy and Lisa and the other offices are doing and all the listings that we have and how I can get you into any house, and just kind of trying to provide as much value as possible. And it also shows that you're very, aware of what's going on. And then I would also look in the neighborhood or within a mile or two of there, and I would print off those houses too. So if they didn't like the house, because I'd always ask for feedback, like, hey, what'd you think? And people tell you, I don't like it, no way, maybe, or I love it. Well, if they didn't love it, because they of course want to sell, the home for the listing agent, right? I mean, you'd want it to sell. So if they want to make an offer, don't try and sell them another house. That's not why the listing agent's letting you do an open house. But if they're like, no, this isn't the one for me, I'd say, well, I printed off these 3 houses are within a mile of here. I'd be happy to show them to you. Would you have availability maybe later on today or tomorrow? And give them to them and make sure they have my card and number. And several people took you up on it. Actually being like, oh, actually, I would like to go see those houses. You can get me into those. Because some people think they just have to go to open houses too. So keep that in mind. Some people don't understand that you can hire a buyer's agent, have one-on-one customer service, all about you service. And like I said, multiple people would be like, what, you can go get me into that house, and absolutely, I can show you any house that's for sale. And what I always say to my buyers, and I would recommend everybody say this, is I can show you any home that is listed by me, my company, any other company, and even for sale by owners. Because keep in mind, for sale by owners usually will pay a buyer's agent commission, and sometimes if you don't add the last part, other brokerages or for sale by owners, buyers actually think that they have to call somebody else or that they just call the owner, even though you've been helping them. So ever since I've started telling my team to say that and myself, they contact me every single time and I call the for sale by owner. I have a buyer, can I show it? Are you paying a buyer's agent commission? I have only ever had one person tell me no, and then they ended up saying yes. So just keep that in mind.
Such good information, Corey. Seriously, that is so good. What he is demonstrating is like the biggest point that I wanted to get across to everyone is like, do not like half step this. If you're doing an open house, don't just be sitting on your computer with your head down and be like, oh, hey, when someone comes in, make sure you're making eye contact with everybody. You're engaging with every single person. You're the best version of yourself. You're excited. You're excited about the house, excited to show it to them, super welcoming, like as if you were welcoming your best friend into your home. Like you want to make them feel special, important, all those things, and stand out, because I'm telling you, there is a difference between an agent who's like, oh, thanks for coming, and gives you like, a half handshake or just doesn't engage at a high level. And pay attention to what they're noticing. And the difference will be, even if they have an agent, be over the top, be providing that value, because you never know when they might say, wow, that guy was so much better than the agent I was working in. So know the neighborhood when you go in, so that if they ask you questions, you're well versed in what the surrounding area is like, what other comps are like in the area. And that way you can speak confidently as you're talking to people and really set yourself apart and make them want to work with you, even if they have another agent. Because sometimes, they're working with an agent who doesn't really care, or they're not giving full effort or something like that. Be different, right? Be excited. People want to work with people that are enthusiastic about what they're doing. So I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just wanted to add in real quick. And what Amy said is really important. When people say they're working with an agent, of course, we want to be respectful, and of course, no problem. But keep in mind, most of the times they're not in buyer's agency agreements, or they may not be fully invested in that agent. So of course, disclaimer, we're not looking to steal anyone's clients. But if somebody chooses not to work with Amy, let's say, and wants to call Lisa, because and they're not actually working together, Lisa didn't do anything wrong and neither did Amy. So just keep that in mind, that we're respectful, but at the same time, I have had people, and it goes both ways, where you provide value and they call you 6 months later and say, hey, I still haven't found a house, I'm not working with that agent anymore, we're not under a contract, because you want to make sure, and you can work with them. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. You're not doing anything wrong. They're not in a buyer's agency contract at that point. So just always treat everybody like they are your next client.
The other thing is, follow up. You're sitting there collecting information. Do not let it collect dust. Okay. You are there to gather leads, whether it's short-term leads or long-term leads. So stay in touch with those people, right? If you host an open house, the person is unrepresented, follow up with those people. Even if they're a little standoffish, follow up with them and, whatever, call, text, whatever. Even if they say, you know what, we're not really serious right now, which is why we're coming to open house, we're not looking for 6 months. Well, in 4 months, touch base with them. Hey, Carol, are you still thinking that you might be moving in June of whatever, or October, whatever? Check in on them. Don't just let those leads, that is part of your sphere. You're growing your sphere. Use this as a tool to grow your sphere. That's huge. The other thing that I was reading about, and I was at a little brainstorming session recently, and they were talking about mega open houses, which are like bigger level open houses. So this would especially apply to you if you're in your farm. I would highly recommend it. Make it a bigger deal. make it something fun that you're inviting the neighborhood to. Because if you want to really get your name out in a specific farm region, if you're like, you know what, this is my neighborhood, I don't want to see another real estate sign in it, and you get a listing in that farm, make it huge. Make sure everyone knows about it. Do something cool. Do, you know, a lemonade bar where maybe you have fresh fruit and lemonade and whatever. Or have your kids do a lemonade stand in front of the house, or do a hot chocolate bar in the winter, or have whatever. I mean, you can make it as big, and obviously it's all budget depending, but do something that's a draw. So maybe you're making flyers that you're giving to the 3 blocks surrounding that house or something, and say, hey, you know, free treat bags for kids or something like that. Like, come up with something that's like a niche thing that sets you apart, that makes people want to come. Maybe you put a speaker out front, play some music, some fun music, or just something that makes it exciting. So just keep that in mind too. And there was another comment. I don't know, Corey, if you're still on, or Lisa, can you?
Oh, yeah.
I can't get to it for some reason.
Yeah, we have,
Okay.
I was gonna say it. So Jessica Wilson said, I just had an investor contact me a few weeks ago to put a bid in on a HUD house for him. He came to my first open house that I held for Amy in September, and I've continued to follow up with him along with others via email. Money is always in the follow-up. I send out mass emails
Yes.
every Thursday for all the open houses for the weekend, along with informational ones once a week. He told me he likes the emails I sent and looks forward to reading them. That value is so significantly high. I like, if I'm buying a house, I'm calling Jessica Wilson, not myself.
Me too. What was your number
Yeah.
again, Jessica?
Yeah, put that in.
Put in the comments.
And then Dave Moody, as a 12-year agent, I cannot emphasize how important this information is. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's why we do these every Friday. That's why Amy and I wanted to kind of co-host it together and just provide as much value in a short amount of time, because we know you're all busy, and take that and put it into your business.
All right. Any last questions before we get on with our Fridays? Anything we can help with, or anything like that?
Maybe does anybody have any topics they would love to see in the next couple of weeks as Amy and I are planning? You can throw it
Yeah.
in.
Well, yeah, and I know we're putting it on the spot right now, but honestly,
Yeah.
like, put it in the comments, put in the Rise United forum, message us independently, whatever. You know, we're here to help. We want to keep things relevant. We want to continue to do things that either help you build your business or perfect your business or level up, whatever would be good. Marketing companies you use?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can talk
I'm sure.
about marketing and different marketing companies and options.
Yeah, well, especially between all of us, I'm sure we have a ton of different resources. So yeah, that's a great topic, Dave. You know, because there's small scale things and larger scale things, and I think that would be a great forum topic.
Yeah, maybe we
to
can throw
discuss.
it into a topic about marketing for real estate agents, because it's a very broad topic, but very important.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it may even have to be 2 parts. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe 3.
Yeah.
We'll make it a 3-part series.
Okay, Corey, fine.
Well,
No,
thank
but we're
you.
always here if anyone needs us, and just thank you for attending today, and looking forward to next week. And if you guys need anything in the meantime, just let us know. Have a great Friday.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thanks.